All right, so good morning and welcome to Which Degree is Right for Me, exploring 2- and 4-year degrees. Just want to thank you guys for all joining us today. I know we are so excited to really spend some time and focus in on our community college members, those that are considering community college, those that are already there, and those that have transferred on. So this kicks off our Honeywell Community College Support Series, really looking at the differences between these two different degrees. You guys are going to learn from some wonderful panelists today that are really going to help you guys understand the different career paths that are available for these 2- and 4-year degrees. So before we get into welcoming off our panelists, just a couple housekeeping things. So this will be recorded and shared on our YouTube channel as well. And then thinking as well, any questions that anyone might have, remember our panelists are experts. They've been in your seats. They've already completed those degrees. So any questions you have, we will end our panel with a Q&A session, but you are also welcome to send those questions directly to me if you don't want to come off mute or want to make sure you get those questions out before you forget them. So before we start the panel time, we just wanted to take a few moments and just share some information with you guys on what a 2-year versus a 4-year degree is. So 2-year degrees are going to look very different. They're generally technical degrees. They can be associate's degrees, associate of applied science degrees, some benefits there, and this is very high level. So there's lots of benefits, and those benefits are going to differ from person to person, but generally they come for a lower cost. They are generally shorter time to degree. So some certificates can be several months. A full associate's degree is generally a couple of years. They come with a very specialized skill set, and a lot of times our community colleges are able to have smaller class sizes. Now, our 4-year degrees, on the other hand, are going to be our bachelor's degrees. Sometimes they do have higher earning potential. They have a more generalized skill set, and then they may have time for internships. Now, that also may be built into 2-year degrees. It just really depends on your institution. And you're going to have varied learning opportunities as well. So again, that specialized skill set for some of those associate degrees are really going to hone in on different skills, where that 4-year degree may do some general stuff as well. So what we want you guys to think about as you determine what's the best fit for you. So make sure that you visit campuses if you can, talk to faculty while you're there, look at the facilities, and make sure and do your research. So the research for you guys may be looking at LinkedIn to see who's graduated and what kind of careers they have, what kind of earning potential is there. Just really looking at and figuring out what kind of career paths are going to be coming from this. So looking at the financial aid, the cost, the housing, the format of the program, and the major and career opportunities. All of those things are really important when you kind of determine, is a 2-year degree the right thing for me? Is a 4-year degree the right thing for me? So when you think about those two different pathways, those two different educational journeys, you don't have to pick one or the other either. So we'll also kind of dig into some of those in our later series. But we do have some resources available for you and for your parents to help you figure out the right pick. So we'll also share those out, but our Equipando Padres program does a lot of content on how to help you pick the right college for you. So without further ado, I'm so excited to go ahead and introduce our moderator and panelists. So our moderator is Pamela. She's going to be joining us from Honeywell. We also have Rodi, who's joining us from Medtronic, and Rudy, who's joining us from Honeywell as well. So Pamela, I'm going to hand it over to you to start moderating this session.
Hello guys, well, my name is Pamela. I've been working with Honeywell for like a year and a half. Honeywell, well, we're happy to host this session. We're a proud partner and sponsor of the chapter, and with our multi-year partnership, we are expanding our support to college community chapters. We look forward to continuing to provide those resources and support the STEM education. Well, the whole purpose of this panel and the following ones are to create a stronger connections with you guys and with Honeywell, and please feel free to reach out after the meeting at any point. And yeah, well, if you guys, the panelists, want we can do a rundown and you can introduce yourself. And yeah, first of all, thank you for being here, for sharing your story. Please share your experience, your education, your professional path, and let's try to inspire the students through your journey. And talk a little bit about your transfer experience and why did you did those decisions and any details you want to share. So let's start with you, Rudy.
Oh, sorry. Was that Rody or Rudy?
Rudy, sorry.
Okay. All right. Hi, good morning. My name is Rudy Avetia. I'm a systems engineer, level 2 right now at Honeywell. I've been with the company for about 3 years. My first year and a half, I did get to participate in the rotational program where I got to sample 3 different jobs before I went ahead and applied for my now full-time position as a systems engineer. Going back to my education, I wasn't really in a position to start college immediately after high school during that time. So later on, I eventually did get to start, and I started at community college, mostly because of some of those points mentioned before. It was more affordable. It did have a lot of flexibility to work with my full-time work schedule. And at that time, I was unsure about the major that I wanted to pursue. So I got to take several different classes. But once I decided on pursuing the mechanical engineering degree, then I started to look at the university options and what were their required courses. And then I worked with my counselor at community college to make sure that my study and course plan was aligned with getting me prepared for transfer and to work towards those requirements. I did have an option to complete an associate's while I was at community, but there were some extra classes that were required in order to do that. So I made the decision to skip on the associates because some of the jobs that I had started looking into, they were all requiring a bachelor's. Once I did transfer, I went to UNLV in Las Vegas, and I was able to secure an internship with Honeywell during SHPE National Convention. And after that, I was invited to come back and participate in the rotational program.
Those are awesome opportunities from this chapter. Cool. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rudy. Let's go to you, Rudy.
Good morning. My name is Rodrigo, but you can call me Roddy. I have an Associate's of Applied Science in Lasers and Optics, and my job is a laser technician. I've been in this role for 6 years in July, so a little under 6 years. At first, I started hands-on, maintaining the equipment, fixing the equipment, and making sure they produce good parts. Once I learned that, I started to teach other people how to do that. And then I started to learn how to make the processes better, or offer support to people that were in charge of making the process better. And then now, fast forward to now, I'm more of an engineering technician where I help redesign the equipment, and I've trained everybody on the shift, and I'm looking to go back and get my bachelor's and then kind of move more towards engineering, and that will be, I'd say, something I do in the next 2 to 3 years. So, but I'm mostly hands-on.
Nice. Well, you have the whole experience by yourself. That's cool. I want to introduce myself. Well, I'm Pamela. I work with Honeywell. I graduated like a year and a half ago, and I started straight from college to same as Rudy with a rotational program at Honeywell. It's really cool because, as he mentioned, you had 3 different roles within a year and a half. So probably you don't like a role that much, so it will be just 6 months, or probably you like it a lot. So you get the chance after you finish the program to go back to the position So that's a huge, nice opportunity that Honeywell has. And yeah, just to share you a little bit about that. So cool, guys. Thank you for sharing that. And we can start to the questions we have. So Rudy, your names like are really similar. That's hard. But yeah, Rudy, what resources do you use to transfer?
I did try to do as much research as I could online, looking at what those options were for both the schools and the eventual job to get an idea of what I would need to complete. And then reaching out and having meetings with the counselor. They work with hundreds of students every day, so they have been through the process enough times that they offer very good advice and can help you set yourself up to get things done in a good, timely manner, and trying to not overload yourself.
What type of platforms do you use to do your searches?
At that time, I mean, it was quite a ways back, so it was more of a basic Google search. I was just trying to go off of the schools that I knew that were nearby. So for me, my search was pretty limited to UNLV, but that's what I was using at that time.
Cool. Cool. And what about you, Roddy? What resources do you use?
When I first moved, because I moved states when I graduated community college, my college was in Iowa and I moved to Minnesota for the job. When I moved to Minnesota, I was looking locally at the community college, seeing if as many credits could transfer. And so I chose to go to Normandale Community College, which is the college that had accepted most of my credits. But I essentially, because my first degree was an associate's and it was more technical, I basically had to start over. And so I did that for a year and a half. And now, thankfully, I actually talked to people at work and they knew of another college that was more of like a technical college, and they can offer like a bachelor's in engineering that's more technical, and so they can accept my 2-year degree. And so now I transferred into that program, and so my first 2-year degree, like the credits don't all transfer, but they take it as a whole degree. So then I start on the 3rd year and I just make up whatever I need to. And that one I just found out through talking to people at work, really.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. What challenges did you encounter? From what you're saying, the transferring all the credits was a difficult, right? And how will you advise the students what they can do so they do the right selection whenever they want to transfer?
One thing they can do is, so if they get a degree that's technical, they can add whatever classes are needed to complement an associate. So they could get an associate's of applied science and then get an associate's of arts at the same time. If they just add like 1 or 2 classes, that way they don't have to hit the roadblock that I hit. But if you do end up hitting that, I think it's more on an individual basis. Just try to find however many credits transfer. And a lot of times you can find something that will accept a specific technical degree. To further on, you just have to find the right college. And a lot of times the college you go to may have some resources for that. Unfortunately, the college I had did not.
Okay, so it's a lot of research that needs to be done beforehand. Cool.
Yeah.
You already, what challenges did you encounter when you try to transfer? How do you overcome them?
Some of the challenges were just kind of the amount of time that the scheduling, shifting over from classes in the evening and working full time to trying to make all of the classes at the different times that they are at a traditional university, as those are more during the daytime. But luckily, I had a pretty smooth transition with working with the counselor and trying to plan everything out before it was time.
How long it took you, the whole degree?
Oh, okay. If we go back to taking like one class a semester and all of that, it probably did take me about 8 years to get through everything. But yeah, slow and steady was what I needed.
Yeah, and you mentioned you had some internships in between.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't really look at the opportunity for internships until I was at university. So that was pretty late on. And that was the internship that I got to do with Honeywell.
That's cool. That's cool to have that experience in between. Nice. And how did you select where to transfer?
For that, it was the convenience and seeing that everything that I had would transfer. So being able to stay where I was and being near family and everything else that we had set up, UNLV was the option for me. That and as well as the in-state tuition, which helped keep the costs pretty low as well.
Any advices you guys have for the students?
Based on my experience here, with it being so long, I mean, don't be discouraged. Don't be trying to compare yourself to others. You know, we all are living life at our own pace, and we have different experiences. So don't overload yourself. I made that mistake early on, and that ended up in a couple wasted credits and being a bit discouraged. But yeah, just stay focused and find a good support group, somebody that can help keep you accountable and help you celebrate the small accomplishments too.
Nice. Nice, true. What about you, Reddy?
My advice overall would be focus on your personal life. And I know that might sound counterintuitive, but if you have a good personal life and you're happy, I find that you just do the homework and it's easy. Your personal life first, put school second, and then work third. And it seems to work out then. I think, like you're trying to accomplish something at school and at work. But just kind of like Rudy said, if you overwhelm yourself, you end up wasting time and you don't do it right. Maybe you even fail the class and you actually didn't make progress and you just stress yourself out. So if you focus on yourself and just take it slow. My second degree is taking 5 years and it's fine.
That's awesome. Cool. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot for sharing that. Do we have any questions from the students?
I've got some questions in the chat I can ask in the meantime, if unless someone wants to come off mute. But can both of you guys please speak to how did you choose your career or STEM in general?
Rodi, you want to take that first?
Yes. So it's funny because my degree is in lasers and optics. It's basically another machine, and I got interested in lasers by coincidence because I always wanted to be a doctor growing up, but I went to go to pre-med and I went to go to like take biology classes and study biology, and I ended up job shadowing a doctor, and I just saw that all of their interactions with like their patients weren't very good for me because I tend to like other people's emotions are contagious for me, and so when other people are sad, I get sad, and when they're suffering, I tend to feel that too. and I didn't have what that doctor had to like be able to get past that and also help people. And so instead of helping people directly, I was looking for something else, and I was just taking my general education classes because I knew I wanted to get a degree. And I happened to discover lasers because I was checking different programs. And so growing up, I was always a handyman, fixing stuff at home with my dad, cars, the house, whatever. And so then I found lasers and I found it fun. And so I was like, okay, I'm good at fixing stuff. I'll do that. At least I find it fun, even if I can't help people. And then I ended up liking lasers, being really good at it. And then I ended up finding out that I can fix machines that make stuff that doctors use. And so that's how I ended up at Medtronic. You know?
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, for me, why I stemmed, yeah, growing up, I always enjoyed science and math. And then as I was working through my different jobs, I did notice that I was enjoying the problem solving and troubleshooting aspect of it. I'd always been interested in product design, development, introduction to market from watching different shows. I always loved shows like How It's Made and hearing people's story on Shark Tank on how they designed and started developing a product. Um, yeah, so I think that's how I decided on that.
Cool. Do you want to go, Ashley?
I was just going to say Juan is another panelist that had to join a few minutes late. So I just wanted to give Juan a moment to introduce himself and talk about your educational and career pathway, Juan.
Sorry for the. Can you hear me perfect? Sorry for the late. I was in the garage and was working. I was trying to get everything done beforehand, but it's sometimes got a little tied up. But just a quick. My name is Juan Alvarado. I currently work at GM. My role is end of line testing, so I work in the vehicle. With the diagnostics for the four stations that we have here in Milford, and then so we kind of do the preventative work that the plant will see eventually when they do their the four last checks in the plant before it gets shipped. So that's kind of what I do. I do want to touch a little bit about what everybody was saying. So like for me, I'm age of 25, not knowing what I was gonna do. I actually got inspired by somebody that's pretty well known. Is the um, everybody knows him as the astronaut Jose. He talked a little bit about his story, about his background, about going to space, and that kind of resonated with me. At the age of 25, I had no idea that I could become an engineer. I was like, no, that's not possible. But all it takes is one person's story to basically change your life. Went back to school, started taking classes little by little, and started building that foundation. So that foundation can be built. It just takes, a couple of things you have to know you have to do. So like, you gotta, you gotta act smart. Things take time, and then at the end you gotta not give up, because anything that you do in life, you have to persevere and make sure you do the things that will get you to the next level. So that's kind of like a little bit what I decided to go into engineering. It was just one person's story that changed my life.
Awesome. Thank you, Juan. Thanks for that. We have another question that will be for you, Juan. What piece of advice do you wish you'd receive to help you select your educational pathway?
A lot of one piece of advice is when I decided, oh, I'm gonna do engineering, it was more like brunt decision. So it was more, oh, I'm gonna become an engineer. I had no idea how. I wish I had like the resources in terms of like, there's things that you can decide. Oh, rate my professor. What courses transfer to the school, the four-year university that you want to head to. So a lot of these schools have a transfer website or a transfer resource where it tells you, okay, these are the courses that transfer to my for my degree. and what I want to do. Those type of resources will basically reduce the time spent for you to get to your final destination. So that's one of the things I wish I had. You know, it's knowing the professor and the knowledge that they provide, and being able to get a good professor for a specific class is very important. Not all professors are the same, unfortunately, but this is something that the work beforehand, and just making sure you set your goals, and you put the work, you know, beforehand. You print your syllabus, and you know exactly what you're getting into.
Thank you. That's a cool answer. Yeah, that's true. Rate my professor. I haven't heard from that a while ago, and it's really useful. And when you know there's a class you really want to learn everything about it, the best thing is to get the professor that you know it's pretty dedicated to the class, so you can get all his knowledge. And yeah. Well, we have other question here. What benefits are there to doing it the way that you did it? Who wants to answer that?
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, so some of the benefits that I saw were the flexibility. So I was still able to be near family and work and do those things that I kind of had the responsibilities at that time, but I was still able to continue building by taking whether it was 1 or 2 classes per semester. And that was the benefits that I saw. In addition to the lower cost, and also the student to professor ratio was much better at community college. It was closer to what it was in high school. I mean, we're 50 people to the professor, as opposed to transferring to university, and it could easily become 200 to 1.
Yeah.
I guess I can add into one of the other benefits. As a student, if you know that your foundation is not there, it gives you the time to develop that foundation. That one-to-one environment with your professor, you have a smaller classroom, and it gives you the time to catch up. You know, it's a lot of the for a lot of students, it can come easy for them when they attend a 4-year university, but you know, it's that time to catch up. A lot of times some people might need that, and I needed that. So it's one of the benefits is that you have that one-to-one with the professor, and then you can build that foundation and have that strong engineering foundation before you get to 4-year university.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. Well, I think right now we wrap up all the questions, and yeah, our time is by. But I want to thank you all, the 3 of you guys. Thank you for your time and for sharing your story, and for the students that connected. Thanks a lot. And as I told you guys, please feel free to reach out. And we're here to help, and we want to help you guys succeed. And so, yeah. Do you have something else to say, Ashley?
Yeah, I want to echo. Thank you guys so much for all joining. I know you're all very busy professionals taking time out of your work days. Juan, especially, thank you. I know you were running around like crazy, I'm sure, to make it here for this. So thank you guys so much. For our students, Honeywell is also providing community college chapter support specifically. So if you are watching this and you are attending a community college, make sure your SHPE chapter is taking advantage of that. Reach out to our chapters email, chapters@shpe.org, if you want additional details on that. And then we're also going to do a deep dive into careers without 4-year degrees with Honeywell this fall. And in a few weeks, we'll also dive a little bit more into the transfer process as well. So lots of very exciting stuff coming up in partnership with Honeywell as we work to support our community college students. And we just want to again say thank you guys for joining us today. We're excited. We know that this is what our members are looking for. So if you guys have any other questions or thoughts, don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. But again, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.